Last night, the Americans opened the first game of their home and home with a 4-0 lead. After 6 innings without a run, the lead had been cut to 1, and Carmen Pinaro came in for the save. Today, the Americans will look to get their offense back on track and utilize their momentum from last night against a Jamestown team that came mere bases away from victory. It's the Americans. It's the Tarp Skunks. It's PGCBL Baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come
baby,
here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back to Sal Magley Stadium as the Tarp Skunks and Americans get ready for the second leg of a home and home. It's their third home and home of the season. Americans lead the season series 3-2, looking to definitively pull ahead within that. And the interesting part about the battle between these two teams, when the Americans have come off wins headed into Tarp Skunks home and home, they've won that home and home. When they've come off a bunch of losses, those losses have continued. So the Americans' performance against Jamestown has been fully dependent on the prior streak. That bodes well for today. But we'll give you a look at the PGCBL standings at large headed into the game. The Americans are back in first place at 14-6. The Doubledays just half a game back. They swept the Americans, so have the tiebreaker right now. Muck Dogs in third, 2 games back. Elmira in that final playoff spot at 11-8. Pilots and Tarp Skunks not too far behind either. Jamestown is 4 games back at the Americans. Red Wings and Ironbacks still in the basement, but the Red Wings quietly have strung together 4 wins out of 5. The Americans, the only team to beat Geneva in the last 5 days. And the Red Wings will be playing against the Doubledays again tonight, a team that they mercied earlier this week. That'll be a big game to watch across the West Division. The Pios and Muck Dogs also facing off, and then the Ironbacks traveling to Newark to play the Pilots. We'll have the national anthem in just a moment, and then we'll introduce you to our starters. We will start with the Tarp Skunks lineup before the national anthem. It'll be Nolan Smith leading off. As usual, Jacob Haynes doing the catching tonight behind him. Justin Bremner, Nathan Borchert going to bat cleanup and DH. Justin Bremner batting third. Brady McGuire, the third baseman, batting fifth. Brady Marshall, Dom Costello still in those 6-7 slots. Costello, the extra hitter tonight. And 6 out of those 7 in the top of the order, all batting over 300. And Eric Weeks going to be batting 8th in right field. Aiden Alasko batting 9th, playing second. Matthew Dumas, like last night, will round things out and play center. They'll be facing Hudson Boring. He's on the mound right now. 1-0 record with a 3.21 ERA and 11 strikeouts. Started against Batavia on Sunday. We're going to keep his momentum going. And we'll pause for the national anthem.
done, Dan.
Welcome back here on the broadcast. Thanks to Yankee Doodle Dan for an excellent national anthem. We'll have the ceremonial first pitch, and then after that, we will be underway with the top of the first inning here from the barber shop.
Steven served for 28 years as an Army Lieutenant Colonel, serving in Iraq,
And
Afghanistan, and
it's a military veteran and Americans fan throwing out this ceremonial first pitch. Let's see a strike. Jake Rocher coming to catch it. A solid first pitch.
Thank you for your service.
And thank you for your service. But we'll have the first inning underway momentarily. Leading things off for the Tarp Skunks, as it was last night, it'll be Nolan Smith, Jacob Haynes, and Justin Bremner. Americans generally had success against those three last night. Haynes with a couple of knocks, but Nolan Smith and Justin Bremner both going hitless last night. Bremner got on with a couple of hit-by pitches, but other than that, a very quiet night from him. Quiet night from Smith as well. Nolan did get on towards the end of the game.
Hey fans, please ignore that ball spreads occasionally into the stands. Please, keep your eyes on the game. In addition,
So yeah, rather that he did get a hit towards the end of the game, but
please refrain from smoking
for the most part,
And
a
now,
quiet night
last thing to
for
say
Nolan.
is, play ball!
And he will be leading things off for Jamestown. Batting average is at .329. He's got a .794 OPS, 14 RBIs. The product of SUNY Cortland to face Hudson Boring, who's making his second start of the season. Boring will be followed up in this game by Brady Toney. There was some discussion over whether Toney or Boring would get the start, but Boring was settled on as the starting pitcher. As this rotation begins to take shape, for the most part over the last week or so, it's been Keegan Bazinet, Luke Blandino, Hudson Boring getting in there. And then those last few spots, been a mix of Jake Rocher, CJ Hurley, and Nolan Jackson. All of them have looked pretty sharp as starting pitchers, so I'd imagine not much will change moving forward in terms of starters. Nolan Smith gonna kick things off. The rising junior at SUNY Cortland. No Cortland players on the Americans, but a couple of Cortland interns. Our scorer, Riley Drew Cross, and Roland Snyder down in the box office. But it's outside for ball one. To start out this game, Americans and Tarp Skunks right here on the Americans Baseball Network. Two consecutive balls on the outside by Boring. Boring readies. Delivers on the 2-0. That'll just get in there on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Some framing from Dalton Harper helping solidify that call, but looks like it would have been a strike either way. And another one in a similar spot goes for strike two. The count is now even. Hudson Boring looking for his first strikeout of the day on his first batter faced. Here's the pitch. It's outside to fill up the count. Hudson Boring readies for the payoff pitch. We'll see what he throws here. And it'll be outside for ball four on the breaking ball. Hudson Boring walking Nolan Smith to start out the game. Jacob Haynes up next. Hudson Boring has had some outings where he has been absolutely untouchable. Others has had some more traffic on the bases. See what's in store for tonight from Hudson. It's a low outside ball one. Right on that corner. Jacob Haynes was 2 for 4 last night with a single and a double. Batting .357 on the year with an 1,000 OPS. That'll get in there on that outside corner for strike one. So Boring very precise in his pitches. That slight adjustment going to get the job done for strike one. Here's the 1-1. It's inside on the breaking ball to make it 2-1. Here's it was a 12-6 curveball right there. The 2-1 count with Smith on first base. He walked to lead off this game and check swing. They'll say he went. Count is even on Haynes. Haynes hit a home run right here at Sal Magley the last time he played at this ballpark. And he swings and misses. It's strike three. Hudson Boring has his first strikeout of the day. Justin Bremner getting the SpongeBob introduction here at the Sal. Bremner was hitless last night. Got hit a couple times, but did not record a hit himself. Leads the Tarp Skunks in batting average at .375, .979 OPS. Also leads the team with 17 RBIs and 2 homers. Another curve for ball one upstairs. That one, not enough drop on it to fall into the strike zone. But Boring coming off the strikeout, looking to keep the momentum going. A swing and miss right there to make it ones across the board to Bremner. Justin Bremner followed up Grant Moore's Week 1 win of Player of the Week by winning it Week 2. So it's a battle between those two players. A swing and miss again. 2 consecutive swings and misses by Bremner. And now the count in favor of Boring. Justin Bremner will pop that up into first base foul territory. Graydon Miller chasing it down. It'll be out of play, though. So Miller with a nice effort, but just out of his reach. Still 2 strikes on Bremner. Boring looking to finish it right here. Also the opportunity for the double play with Nolan Smith on first, but just got to get the out right here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll be lined into left field. Boyle chasing it down near the foul line, and he will make the grab for out number 2. Nolan Smith hurrying back to first base. It's 2 down for the Skunks after the leadoff walk. Nathan Borchard up next. The longtime cleanup hitter for these Skunks and has caught here and there, but for the most part, the designated hitter for this team. That'll find the outside edge of the zone for strike one. Borchert right on the line of 300. He's batting .299 with a .698 OPS. Both of those numbers fell below 300 and 700 respectively in yesterday's game. Even count on Borchert. Boring delivers on the 1-1. And it is on the low outside corner. 2-1 pitch will be upstairs. Looked close to the strike zone there, but goes in as ball number 3 on a pitch that just stayed a little too high. Here's a 3-1, and that'll get in there on the outside edge for strike 2. Borchert was starting his trot towards first base. Ump says no. Count is full. With 2 down, there's a crucial pitch for Hudson Boring. Here's the payoff. And it's a ground ball. And Huang will not get to it in time. That's going to roll into the outfield for the base hit. First hit given up by Boring. It's runners on first and second for Jamestown with Brady McGuire coming up. Arguably the hottest bat on this Tarp Skunks team. Started out the year unusually slow, but batting .340 with a .986 OPS now. 14 RBIs. The third baseman for most of the D2 playoffs over at Seton Hill. 2 down, 2 ducks on the pond. That'll drop on the bottom edge of the strike zone to put the count in Boring's favor early. Boring has some traffic, but looking to get out of this inning without a run allowed. Checks back on Smith at second. The 0-1 will curve to the outside. Was trying to get McGuire to chase, but he will stay patient with the even count. Smith and Borchert each have a lead at their respective bases. And it's another outside ball 2. Boring throws 2 similar pitches. Just a little bit off target of where he wanted them to be. The swing and miss to even up the count. McGuire will bite on that one after taking a couple of balls. And Boring is 1 strike away. But instead, the count will fill up again. Second consecutive full count for Hudson Boring. Gave up the single last time around. We'll see what he throws here to Brady McGuire on the payoff pitch. It's going to be lined into the outfield. Drops in the gap for the base hit. Coming around to score is Nolan Smith. Nathan Borchert safely into third. The Tarp Skunks take the early lead 1-0. Nolan Smith coming around to score after his leadoff walk, and Hudson Boring allowing 1 run in his first inning of work. But another could potentially come in as Nathan Borchert is on third base. Brady Marshall up to bat. He has his fellow Brady McGuire at first base. Product Kent State batting .308 with a .779 OPS on the year. No extra base hits yet for Marshall. But he takes strike 1 down the pike, and Marshall, an excellent contact hitter. Always good for a single. The 0-1 from Boring will go inside at his knees to even up the count. Marshall also has taken a number of walks. Patient at the plate. Speedster on the base paths as well. Multi-tool player for Jamestown. Up in the count, 2-1. It's Borchert on third, McGuire on first. And that'll find the outside corner to even things up. 2s across the board on Brady Marshall. Marshall. Runners have a lead. He lines it down the first base line, foul on the 2-2. Boring has been waiting for that third out, has given up a run in the process. Because 2 hits have been allowed over the last 2 at-bats. The pickoff attempt at first was unsuccessful. Boring. The pitch is fouled off. Down the first base line again, still 2-2. Brady Marshall really working this count. Pitch total up to 28 for him. 15 strikes out of those. Been a struggle for Americans pitchers over the last couple of days, but they won yesterday nonetheless. Chopper right to Graydon Miller for out number 3. So Jamestown scores 1, but they'll strand 2. We'll head to the bottom of the first after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Back for the bottom of the first, we'll give you the Niagara Falls Americans starting lineup. Leading off will be Grant Moore in center field, the .459 hitter, leading the league in batting average. Evan Core batting second, playing right. Gavin Boyle in left field, per usual, batting third. Ethan Madison, the DH, in the cleanup spot. Graydon Miller up to the 5-hole, playing first. Dalton Harper doing the catching, batting sixth. Nick Pass, the extra hitter, back in the order today. Ian Huang batting eighth and playing second base. Connor Kiefer, the third baseman, batting ninth. And Chris Gazaldo will play shortstop. They'll be facing Hunter Bell, the Tarp Skunks starting pitcher today. Second time the Americans have seen him. He's 0-1 with a 7 ERA and 8 strikeouts, product of Alcorn State. So here's Grant Moore to face Bell. The first pitch will be outside in the low corner for ball 1. Jamestown taking the early 1-0 lead after the RBI single by Brady McGuire, continuing his hot streak. Swing and a miss by Moore. He chases on a pitch that ends up outside to even up the count. Grant Moore, an 18-game on-base streak. Takes another ball outside. Evan Core on deck, has an on-base streak of his own spanning 14 games. And Bell will send that low to make it 3-1 on Grant Moore. Bell, left-handed pitcher. Americans only have 2 of those. And that is outside. Grant Moore walking on his first at-bat. On-base streak is up to 19 games. That's gone since the beginning of his season. Here's Evan Core up next with Grant Moore on base. And as we always like to say here on the Americans Baseball Network, Grant Moore, it doesn't matter how he gets on first, almost always a free double. Looking to steal second base per usual. He has 23 steals to lead the PGCBL. And I mean, Grant Moore, the way he's been playing, could be an early candidate for league MVP. Leading in average, on base percentage, stolen bases, Right now, 1 strike on Evan Core as Moore looks for another steal. He hurries back to first as Bell tries for the pickoff attempt at first base. Moore retakes his lead, and Bell gonna have to keep his attention divided here. Could affect the at-bat with Core. Another pickoff attempt. And going to be very hard to catch Grant Moore on those. If you're going to catch him stealing, it's going to be in a rundown, or if he's already taken off. Very good at getting back to his base. It's an inside strike 2 to Core. Moore retaking his lead. The 0-2 count, got to wonder if he'll take off here. Bell checks on him again. Not really any use in that. Grant Moore has gotten back every single time. But Bell nonetheless able to put a couple strikes on Core. And there's a high chopper. Picked up by the first baseman Smith, and he beats out Core to first base. Gets the tag for out number 1. Actually cuts off Core's path towards first and takes care of the tag himself. Avoided some extra running. So it's 1 down, and Grant Moore getting to second base on the ground out. Look at that. A free double for Grant Moore, per usual, as Gavin Boyle comes up to bat. Batting 148, so a bit of a cold start, but he was here in Niagara Falls last year as well for the Americans, and it's one of their best hitters. 860 OPS, 4 taters, 24 RBIs. Has a ball on the count right now. His best games have come here at Sal Magley. Has 2 doubles here on the year. Big cut and miss for strike 1. Strikeouts have been an issue for Gavin Boyle. Over the course of the season. But looking to avoid the strikeout here with the even count. And 1 down. It's ones across the board, and Bell checking on Moore, who's now at second base. Big lead towards third, and it's a line drive into the outfield. Goes in the gap for the base hit and Moore. Gavin Boyle headed to second base. It'll be an RBI double for Gavin. His 3rd double as an American this season. All 3 have come here at Sal Magley. And the game is tied 1-1 as Grant Moore coming around to score. Gavin Boyle showing off his power. And those big swings at long last paying off. A sharp line drive into the outfield. And here is Ethan Madison with Gavin Boyle on second base now, taking Moore's spot there. That's a line drive, foul down the first base line for strike 1. Ethan Madison has strung together a little hit streak for himself. That's spanned about a week. He's batting .361 with a .911 OPS. The pitch will be grounded foul down the third base line. 2 strikes on Madison, both of which have come on foul balls. Ethan Madison with the 2-strike count looking to climb out of the hole. Gavin Boyle now with a lead on second. Madison will step out briefly here. Now come back in. Hunter Bell looking for out number 2 of the inning with Boyle on second. Boyle with the first hit of the day for Niagara Falls. That gets in there for strike 3 on Madison. He goes down in just 3 pitches. And it's 2 down. Graydon Miller looking to drive in Boyle, who's still in scoring position with 2 down. Miller batting .308 on the year, .807 OPS, 12 RBIs. Been one of the best hitters for these Americans over the last 2 seasons. Big cut and miss for strike 1 on Miller. Hunter Bell doing a good job throwing strikes here down the stretch of the inning. And Miller is ready for the 0-1 pitch from Bell. He checks on Boyle first, now delivers. It's up and away to even up the count. Fastball seemed to have a rising effect right there. One's on the count, Boyle on second. Bell checking back, now delivering. And that'll drop in down the pike for strike 2 on the breaking ball. Graydon Miller with the 2-strike count. Madison just struck out looking. And Miller instead is going to line that down the third base line for a base hit. Coming in to score is Gavin Boyle. It'll be 2-0 now. Madison reaching second base safely. Or rather Miller, but runner on second. And it is 2-1 Americans. Will go in as a single and advance on the throw for Graydon. Dalton Harper up next, the catcher for the Americans. Batting .212, but a .720 OPS. Has walked 8 times, been hit 6 times, so a lot of free bases for him over the course of the season. And he takes strike 1. Has shown a lot of patience. That's allowed him to get this many free bases. Graydon Miller now the runner on second. It's changed throughout the inning. Grant Moore was there after the Evan Core grounded out. Gavin Boyle had a double to get there and take Moore's spot. And now Graydon Miller with a single in advance to take second base himself. Harper looking to drive in Miller and make this a 2-run lead for the Americans. The pitch is lined into right field. Weeks backing up, and he will make the grab for out number 3. So Dalton Harper flying out, but the Americans scored 2 to take the lead in this bottom of the first. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the second here at the Barbershop. And this second inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. Bit of a long first inning here. 3 total runs scored. 2 of those were for the Americans. We'll give you a look at the PGCBL at large with some score updates coming your way in just a moment. Due up in the inning for Jamestown will be Dom Costello, Eric Weeks, and Aiden Nolasco. But some other scores before we start off this inning. The Pioneers leading the Muck Dogs 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Red Wings and Doubledays tied at 2 in the second inning. And the Pilots lead the Ironbacks 2-0 in the bottom of the second in Newark. So the Auburn Double Days are right on the tail of the Americans, looking to keep it that way by beating the Red Wings. Pioneers will come to Niagara Falls for the doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch for that one will be at 2 o'clock. All the coverage right here on the Americans Baseball Network. And Hudson Boring going to send that one to the low outside corner for ball one. Dom Costello, 358 with an 882 OPS. That'll find the zone on the low edge. Costello recorded his 7th RBI of the year against the Americans last night. He takes an inside ball, rather strike. It's a late strike call by the ump. So now the count in Boring's favor. He looks for his 2nd strikeout of the day. And instead, it's up and away to even up the count at 2s. Costello will swing and miss. There it is. Hudson Boring has his 2nd strikeout. Hang on a second. Looks like he got a piece of that one. And that one will be grounded up the middle, picked up by Huang, but it will not matter. An infield single. Eric Weeks will be up next with Dom Costello now on first base. The Skunks getting their 3rd hit of the day. And that'll be a ground ball into left field for the base hit by Weeks. It's now runners on 1st and 2nd for Boring. Tarp Skunks have 4 hits today to Niagara Falls' 2. But the Americans so far leading in the run column. Tarp Skunks have the tying and go-ahead runs on base in Costello and Weeks. Costello, the lead runner at 2nd. Aiden Nolasco up next. By far the lowest averages in this lineup, and OPS of 371, batting average of 077. Plays a good second base. He's there tonight for the Skunks. That'll be a fly ball into left field. And Connor Kiefer coming all the way back from 3rd to make the grab for out number 1. Runners will hold on the foul out by Nolasco. Matthew Dumas up next. This will round out the Skunks lineup for the first time through. Dumas batting .313 with an 838 OPS on the year. The lefty comes from Lake Sumter State, where he led the team in batting average, on base percentage, and also had 27 steals to lead his team. It's an outside strike one. Honestly, a similar profile hitter to Grant Moore, but hasn't had quite that level of success in the PGCBL. So maybe slightly toned down from what Grant has been able to do for the Americans. Ones across the board to Dumas. Dumas also a center fielder, but batting at the end of the lineup as opposed to at the top for Jamestown. And Boring checks on second base. Now it's fouled off into the third base stands to make it 1-2. Boring has some traffic for the second consecutive inning. Can he get out of this jam with one down and force plays available at first and second? The 1-2 pitch will get in there for strike 3. There's that second strikeout Hudson Boring has been waiting for. And Nolan Smith will come up for the second time now. Smith led off his game with a walk. Looking to get on base again against Boring. Boring has walked just one and struck out 2. One swinging, one looking. That'll be a fly ball. Ends up being more of a pop-up, actually. Kiefer going to make the grab. And so far, Connor Kiefer been reliable at third base. His first time starting at the position. Americans come out of this inning unscathed. We'll send it to the bottom of the second after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Bottom of the second inning here from Sal Magley. And this season, get yourself the latest Americans gear at every Americans home game. Hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, much, much more available at the merchandise stand by Concessions. Typically run by Leah Fraun, shout out to her, but today, Justin Rojek filling in. Thank you to Justin for stepping in wherever the Americans need him. But in this bottom of the second, the Americans looking to expand on their one-run lead. They will have Connor Kiefer due up after Nick Pass and Ian Wang. Kiefer with some great defense in that top of the second, catching a couple of pop-ups in foul territory. But Nick Pass will kick things off here in the second inning for the Americans. 242 hitter, 698 OPS, 5 RBIs. His RBIs have, for the most part, come in bunches. A 2-run triple in his season debut in Batavia. And that will come close to hitting past. It's ball 1 inside. Past having to move a little bit. A parade of kids running down the first baseline stands, ready to catch some foul balls if Past hits some. That'll drop on the low edge of the zone to even up the count on Past. Past local to Niagara Falls, but attending community college at Eastern Florida State his first 2 years. He'll line that into left field. It'll drop in for the base hit. Americans with their third hit of the day. Nick Pass starting off his day with a single. And now Ian Huang will have the chance to drive him in. Connor Kiefer on deck. Huang is batting .313 on the year, 872 OPS. The switch hitter batting from the right side after seeing most of his time lefty due to the lack of left-handed pitchers in this league. It's a ground ball right to McGuire at third, out at second, and now the out at first. It's an easy double play for the Skunks, 5-4-3. Aiden Nolasco coming in to cover second base. Connor Kiefer, the 9-hitter for these Americans. Usually seen either towards the start or end of the lineup due to his speed. But on the year, batting .313 with a 702 OPS. Has recorded a hit every game he's started. A pair of pop-outs in foul territory when he came in as a pinch hitter for Huang. But the 1-0 count on Kiefer right now. And that'll be a chopper sent to Nolasco at second. Kiefer trying to beat it out, but will not be there in time. Americans retired quickly here in the bottom of the second, but they still lead 2-1. See if Hudson Boring can keep that going in the top of the third.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Back for the top of the third inning, and this third inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, by Geico of Buffalo, by Sammy's Pizza, and by McDonald's. If the Americans can score a third run in this game, every fan here will get a free McCafe Frappe after the game. And Sammy's Pizza, the official pizza provider here at the Americans. Yankee Doodle Dan will give out some Sammy's down in the stands after this half inning. But I had the chance to order some other food from Sammy's today. Got some wings and mott sticks. A very versatile menu, so they're not just pizza by any means. It's a line drive into left center field by Jacob Haynes, caught by Grant Moore for out number 1. Haynes will be followed up in this inning by Justin Bremner and Nathan Borchert. Here's Bremner. The 3-hitter in the Skunks order is 0 for 1 today. Haynes now 0 for 2, struck out his first time around. But Bremner taking a low outside ball 1 on the breaking ball from Boring. Hudson Boring, a scoreless frame in the top of the second after giving up a first inning run. That's fouled off on a dribbler down the first base line. It's 1s across the board to Justin Bremner. Tarp Skunks still out hitting the Americans 4-3. It was Nick Pass with the hit for the Americans in the bottom of the second, but Ian Huang following that up by grounding into a double play. So that ended that right there. Justin Bremner, for whatever reason, has struggled against these Americans. Has pretty much torn up every other team in the league. The 1-1 count on him right here will drop low for ball 2. Product of Canisius, one of 2 Canisius hitters in today's Tarp Skunks lineup. It's the chopper foul down the third base line. Back and forth battle between Boring and Bremner. Now at 2-2. Justin Bremner with the even count. Takes ball 3 in the dirt. Harper with a nice stop there as the count is now full with 1 down. The payoff pitch from Boring is way inside. Nearly behind Justin Bremner. He gets walked. He'll be the first base runner of this third inning. Nathan Borchert up next as Hudson Boring now up to 2 walks on the day. The other batter to walk being Nolan Smith to lead off the game. Borchert's 1 for 1. Had that single, the first hit of the Tarp Skunks day, and there's going to be another line drive into left field for the base hit. Runners on first and second. It's the 5th hit of the day for Jamestown. And on the first pitch, Nathan Borchert getting his 2nd hit in a row as Brady McGuire will follow him up McGuire had the RBI. At least the first RBI in the first inning. That's going to be a fly ball into right field. Core is going to be there to make the grab for out number 2. Tagging up for third base will be Justin Bremner, who walked on the full count. So 2 down, runners on the corners for Brady Marshall. Marshall was the last batter back in the first inning for Jamestown. Pitch from Boring is going to get in there on the outside corner for strike 1. Brady McGuire, after the RBI, flying out. One's on the count. And that's in there for strike 2. Hudson Boring 1 strike away from ending this inning. Instead, it's a ground ball right to Gazaldo. It's short. The throw to first is in time for out number 3. Tarp Skunks still have yet to score another run since that first inning. The Americans will look to differ from that in the bottom of the third. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bottom of the third here from the barbershop. Americans still lead 2-1. And fans, did you know American season tickets are just $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands and pick up your season tickets today to be a part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. Chris Gazaldo stepping in to face Hunter Bell. He'll be followed up by the top 2 in the Americans order, Grant Moore and Evan Core, in this inning. Gazaldo takes strike 1 down the pike. A little bit towards the outside part of the plate, but still pretty up the middle strike by Bell. That'll go on the inside part of the zone to make it 0-2 on Chris. Gazaldo looking to get something going here and help the Americans expand on their 1-run lead. Instead, that'll go further inside to put the first ball on the count. Gazaldo still looking for that first extra base hit. His potential double yesterday going in as an error, but that's a high chopper to Marshall. Sent to first, and he will be safe. Gazaldo going to get credit for the infield single. Americans have a runner on. Grant Moore, a runner on first for his at-bat. And Chris Gazaldo, a singles machine for this team. He has a lead at first base. Moore looking for his first hit of the day. Walked his first time up to lead off the game. Ball 1 to him. Came around to score on the Gavin Boyle RBI double in that first inning. Far inside pitch. Moore has to dodge. And it's 2 balls on the count. The 2-0 pitch will be a fly ball into left field foul territory. And it'll drop out of play. Gazaldo running back to first base on the first strike to Grant Moore. Hunter Bell in his 3rd inning of work for these Skunks. Tarp Skunks starters, not known for going long innings, but that started to change over these last couple games, as the Tarp Skunks have found themselves a little short on pitchers some days after using high numbers early in the season. Now starting to change their approach. The 2-1 to Grant Moore is going to get in there on the outside part of the zone to even up the count. Moore likely wouldn't have been able to hit that one anyways. It was a bit out of the reach of his bat. Not one you want to chase. 2-2 pitch with a lead for Gazaldo. Will be low and away to fill this count up. Grant Moore showing a lot of patience here. Chance to walk for the 2nd time today. Moore has tallied 19 walks on the season. So this would be number 20 if he can walk here. Swing and a miss instead. He strikes out on his 2nd at bat of the day. It's 1 down. And strikeouts are rare for Grant. That's just his 5th of the season. 19 walks to 5 strikeouts is unbelievable. And Moore swinging and missing right there, but with so few strikeouts, can afford that one. Evan Core gonna take ball 1 low. Gazaldo still on first base with 1 down. Core is 0 for 1, grounded out to advance Grant Moore to 2nd on his first at bat. That put him in position to score on that Gavin Boyle double. So Core doing his job last time around. We'll see if he can advance Gazaldo here, either by getting on base or making some good contact. That's going to be a fly ball into left center field. And making the grab is Matthew Dumas in center. Chris Gazaldo going to have to head back to first. 2 down on these Americans. Gavin Boyle, we're going to get a hot streak going of his own. Already has an RBI double today, his 3rd double of the season. The fun fact for Gavin Boyle this season is that he's had more doubles than singles. 3 doubles to 2 singles on the year. That's an outside ball 1 to Gavin. Coming out of this game, likely that's going to lead to a low batting average, but an inflated OPS. Unless Boyle can put up some more hits. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful on Gazaldo. So a lot of speed on this Americans team. Very hard to catch runners stealing. A high chopper goes foul over the head of Nolan Smith. It's 1-1 on the count. Boyle looking for another hit after his double the first time around. It was his 6th RBI of the year. Has Gazaldo on first, so potential RBI chance, but nobody in scoring position. Big cut and miss for strike 2. Gavin Boyle looking to avoid this inning ending right here. Bell looking for that third out. It's in there for strike 3. Boyle goes down looking. His first strikeout of the day, but not his first of the season, that's for sure. They'll send it to the top of the 4th inning after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Back for the top of the 4th inning, Dom Costello will kick things off for the Tarp Skunks right here against Hudson Boring. The first pitch from Boring will go high for ball 1. Costello will be followed up in this inning, just like in the 2nd inning, by Eric Weeks and Aiden Nolasco. A big cut and miss by Costello to even up the count. Costello on the day, he's 1 for 1. The hit to lead off the 2nd inning, and now swings and misses for strike 2. Boring looking for his 3rd scoreless frame in a row. And that'll drop down to even up the count. The low ball 2 from Boring. Hudson Boring, in his 2nd start of the year, delivers on the 2-2. It's fouled off behind home plate into the netting. So count is even. Hudson Boring looking for strikeout number 3 of the day. And it's going to have to wait another foul tip with the count still even. It's now been a 6-pitch at bat between Boring and Costello. Number 7 coming right here. Swing and a miss. Costello, the 3rd strikeout victim of Hudson Boring. The throw to first completes the strikeout for out number 1. So Boring has struck out Matthew Dumas, Jacob Haynes, and now Dom Costello. And Eric Weeks up next, takes strike 1 down the pike. Boring sends the 0-1 outside to even up the count. 1's across the board to Weeks. Weeks also with a hit his first time up. And the broken bat on the foul tip. Bat goes flying near the Americans' dugout. Tarp Skunks' 3rd base coach going over to grab it. Going to be a bit of a hold up here as Eric Weeks gets a new bat. Some seagulls flying over Sal Magley just collided into each other mid-air. Crazy sights here above the diamond here at Sal Magley Stadium. Eric Weeks looking to climb out of the 1-2 hole. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Hudson Boring, the second consecutive for him. And here comes Aiden Nolasco, who's 0 for 1. By far the lowest batting average in this Tarp Skunks order. That is inside for ball 1. Hudson Boring looking to strike out the side in this 4th inning. Right now, it's 2 inside balls to Nolasco, though. Boring sets for the 2-0. Delivers. And it drops in there on the breaking ball for strike 1. Hudson Boring looking to get back in this count. It's a fly ball into left center field. Gazaldo backing up. He will make the jumping grab for out number 3. Chris Gazaldo with the hops to make the grab, and Hudson Boring with a 1-2-3 inning, not striking out the side, but a pretty good result for him nonetheless. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Sal Magley Stadium. This 4th inning on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. Get all your Coke beverages down at concessions. And a reminder to follow the Americans on all their social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Shout out to our social media managers, Frankie Morris and Leah Fraun, for keeping those up and running. Big cut and miss for Ethan Madison. Strike 1 on him. He'll be followed up by Graydon Miller and Dalton Harper in this inning. Madison 0 for 1 today. Struck out his first time up. And inside, ball 1 to even things up. Madison, one of 3 Americans to strike out alongside Moore and Boyle. Boyle has 10 strikeouts on the year. And that's a check swing. They will say he went. Strike 2 on Madison. Madison looking to avoid striking out for the 2nd time today. That would also be his 10th of the season. The pitch from Bell is going to be fouled off down the first base line into the batting cage area. Nolan Smith chasing it down, but not going to be within reach for him. Madison DHing again tonight. He's been in that spot a lot of late. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He chases on strike 3. It's his 10th strikeout as an American. Graydon Miller up next. Miller with the RBI knock his first time around. It was a single. He advanced to second on the throw. Gavin Boyle coming around to score on that. Miller going to foul it off for strike one. Graydon Miller, for the most part, his hits have come in bunches. He's had a number of multi-hit games, but also a number of hitless nights. The 0-1 pitch is another one fouled off, and Graydon Miller has no more wiggle room in this at-bat. Consecutive foul balls to put 2 strikes on the count. 1 down and nobody on after the Madison strikeout to lead off the inning. The pitch from Bell is going to be a line drive into right field, foul. Ends up being more of a fly ball, but oh and 2. It's the batter Miller continuing to foul off pitches and stay alive in this at bat. Got to take balls or make contact every time. And that'll be a ground ball to McGuire, who comes in from third. And Graydon Miller going to be safe. It's going to be a hit for Graydon Miller. The 5th of the day for the Americans. That knots them up in that column with the Tarp Skunks. Dalton Harper up next. Harper 0 for 1 on the day. Takes pitch inside for ball 1. Has to dodge it a little. Hunter Bell has now 4 strikeouts today. Harper looking to avoid being number 5. The check swing, he did not go. It's 2-0 to Harper. Pulls back his swing in good time as the ball is thrown by Bell. Harper behind the plate for the 3rd consecutive game. The 2-0 pitch, he's going to line that to the shortstop, Marshall, out at second, out at first for the double play. Tarp Skunks with another double play. It's their 2nd of the game. It sends it to the 5th inning. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the 5th inning here at Sal Maglie Stadium. The Americans lead the Tarp Skunks 2-1. This 5th inning is brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. The Americans have gotten 4 innings of 1-run ball from Hudson Boring. Appears he will keep going here to face Matthew Dumas, as well as Nolan Smith and Jacob Haynes. An update around the PGCBL. Muck Dogs leading the Pioneers 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Doubledays ahead of the Red Wings 4-2 in the 4th inning. And the Pilots now up 5-2 over the Ironbacks in the 4th inning there as well. So all 4 games kicking off right around 6:30. The Americans, the furthest into theirs of any team in the West Division. Hudson Boring delivers on the first pitch to Matthew Dumas. It's a ground ball. The second, and Boring coming into cover for out number 1. Ian Huang will dish it to him. Miller gets out of the way as Boring covers first base. Nolan Smith, the second consecutive lefty that Boring will face. Boring has 4 strikeouts on the day. Looking for his 5th with 1 down. That'll catch the outside edge of the zone for strike 1. Nolan Smith 0 for 1 with a walk today. Fouls it off, and he's down 2 strikes in the count. Hudson Boring, 1 strike away here. As the Cortland product Smith looking to get on base for the 2nd time today. It'll be an outside ball 1 to him. That was close. Similar spot to that first strike, but a little bit further outside. And that'll drop low to even up the count now. 2's on the count to Nolan Smith, the first baseman for Jamestown. Boring setting for the 2-2. And now delivers. And motion towards a swing, but does not check it in the end. It drops low to fill up this count. Hudson Boring has faced a lot of full counts today. Up to 83 pitches. And it's fouled off for the 6th pitch of this at bat. Nolan Smith really working Boring. And that'll be upstairs. Smith walking for the 2nd time today. Runner on first for Jacob Haynes. Last time Haynes had Smith on first base, he struck out. He's 0 for 2 on the evening. Haynes came into this game with an OPS of exactly 1,000. He'll drop a little lower than that if this continues. Hitless night so far for him. And upstairs, ball 1 near the helmet of Haynes. Haynes, one of 2 Seton Hill hitters in this Tarp Skunks order alongside Brady McGuire, was for the most part an extra hitter / designated hitter for Seton Hill in the Division II playoffs. So one's across the board to him here. He has caught before, but wasn't his primary position over at Seton Hill. Another big cut and miss. He's down 1-2 in the count. Boring already struck Haynes out once. Can he do it again with 1 down and 1 on? Would be his 5th strikeout in less than 5 innings. Here's the pitch. It's a pop-up. Harper backing up, and he will not be able to make that grab. It drops out of play into the VIP stands. Couple of fans reaching down, and a fan in Tigers gear will get the ball in the end. And as tonight's public address announcer Avery Vogt has mentioned, those foul balls can be redeemed for snacks. Count is even at 2s now. Jacob Haynes looking to avoid his 2nd strikeout of the night. Here's the 2-2. It's fouled off. Hudson Boring settling in for what's been another long at bat. Couple have been fouled off by Haynes with the even count, and Smith on first. And that'll get in there on the outside corner for strike 3. Hudson Boring has his 5th strikeout, his 2nd on Haynes. Has been excellent as a starter. Making his 2nd start of the year, he has thrived in both. Justin Bremner up next as Boring looks to end this inning right here. Bremner 0 for 1 with a walk. Boring has now totaled 16 strikeouts on the year. It's a fly ball into left center field. Grant Moore going to come in to make the grab for out number 3. 1 pitch and the final out for Hudson Boring, and that at bat with Bremner. We'll send it to the bottom of the 5th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 5th inning. And fans, you or someone you know have a birthday coming up, why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game, all starting at just $175. That's quite the package for that price. Sign up online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com, sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. And speaking of Wegmans, they will sponsor the kids' run per usual. We'll keep it here for that as Yankee Doodle Dan looks to hold on to his undefeated record on the season. And it's going to be a new pitcher for the Tarp Skunks after 4 innings of Hunter Bell. Get you word on who that is in just a moment. Daniel Thomas, the reliever for Jamestown. 2-0 record, 4.26 ERA, and 7 strikeouts. So Daniel Thomas actually started some games over at Mercyhurst, but here serving as a reliever with Nick Past to kick off this inning. He'll be followed up by Ian Wang and Connor Kiefer. Past 1 for 1, had a single his first time up, but was retired on the double play by Ian Wang. That's strike 1 on the outside corner to Past. Americans and Tarp Skunks tied up in the hit column, but the Americans have 1 more run. Neither team has scored since the first inning. It's a big cut and miss for strike 2 by Past. Daniel Thomas looking to keep up the stretch of strong relief outings by Jamestown, and that's fouled off down the first base line on the line drive by Past. Yesterday, Anthony Serrano, coming out of the pen for the Tarp Skunks, ended up being their only reliever as he went 3 2/3 innings and more than doubled his season-long strikeout total. An excellent outing by Serrano. Now the 0-2 pitch will be fouled off by Past. So Daniel Thomas looking to follow in Serrano's footsteps and do the Tarp Skunks justice out of the pen. Americans have the 1-run lead as they did headed into the final inning yesterday, but Americans will look for some more insurance to take the pressure off their pitchers today. It's an inside ball 1 to Past. It's a good start to getting some more runs in position to score. Nick Pass looking to climb out of what was once an 0-2 hole. And that'll get in there on the inside edge for strike 3. Nick Pass going down looking to start off this inning. Ian Huang, grounded into the double play his first time up, will now bat from the left side to face the right-handed Thomas. Smart of the Tarp Skunks to switch over to a righty to face all these right-handed hitters in the Americans order, but Ian Huang, the one guy that you're not going to be able to take advantage of that with, is he's just going to switch over to that left side. Ball one inside to him. With one down and nobody on. Huang looking to redeem himself after the double play right there, though. It's a swing and miss to make it ones across the board. Ian Huang with a pair of multi-hit games. One coming recently. It's fouled off behind him for strike 2. That second multi-hit game coming at Geneva on Wednesday. Has been the most frequent starter for the Americans at second base. Connor Kiefer, Jack Satinoff, Brady Bowles have mixed in as well. That's a high chopper right to Smith at first. He will cover the base himself for out number 2. So Past and Huang retired consecutively. Now Connor Kiefer, the last hope for the Americans to avoid a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. Kiefer is 0 for 1 on the day. Batting average floating right around 300. OPS right around 700. Similar numbers to Shane Prey, who's seen a lot of time at third. Kiefer, his first game at third all season, has only been at second base prior to this. It's an inside ball 1 for Kiefer. Kiefer did also play short at Alfred State, so does have experience with a variety of infield positions. The 1-0 pitch is going to be a shallow fly ball. Marshall backing up, but it'll be the dive by Bremner for the grab. 1-2-3 inning for the Skunks on the Americans. We'll head to the 6th inning after the break. And the kids run. Yankee Doodle Dan looking to keep his undefeated record right here. And he's going to have the head start. Bigger crop of kids than last time. About 10 to 20. Yankee Doodle Dan, it's a close race. A kid right on his tail, but will not win. Yankee Doodle Dan still undefeated. Was he at full speed? That remains to be the question, but Yankee Doodle Dan, per usual, will take the dub right there. As we transition over to the 6th inning, with Hudson Boring still on the bump for the Americans. He's outlasted the Tarp Skunks' own starter, Hunter Bell. In 5 innings, has given up 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and struck out 5. The 6th inning is brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robins, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. It'll be Nathan Borchardt to lead things off for the Skunks in this 6th inning. Americans just went down 1-2-3 at the mercy of Daniel Thomas in his first inning of work. Nathan Borchardt going to kick things off for the Skunks. On the day is 2 for 2. It's 1-0. Pitch from Boring will go outside. Let's put the count well in the favor of Borchardt here, looking for a 3rd consecutive time on base. And that'll be a line drive into right field. Evan Core will make the grab. Came close to dropping in front of him, but Evan Core reading that right for the catch and out number 1. Brady McGuire up next. And McGuire is 1 for 2 today. He had the RBI knock his first time up. That's a dribbler. Picked up. No, it'll get past Kiefer. Kiefer was right there, but it'll be a foul ball anyways. Brady McGuire heading right back to home plate with 1 strike now on the count. Kiefer realizing that was foul and letting it go. A line drive into left field. That is going to drop. Could be extra bases. McGuire headed towards second. No, now he's going to hurry back to first. It'll be a base hit for McGuire. He thought about a double, but will remain on first base. Gavin Boyle could have had the chance to gun him out if he had headed for second. Now a meeting on the mound as Hudson Boring has 1 down and 1 on. This is going to be it for Hudson. Hudson Boring's day is done. Presumably will be Brady Toney coming in. We'll get you official word in just a moment, but Brady Toney was set to be the first reliever for the Americans. Toney 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA and a total of 8 strikeouts on the season. Also has 2 saves. Did have a long 3-inning save a couple games ago. We'll see if he can go long innings again today, but Toney stepping in for the Americans after 5 1/3 by Hudson Boring with just 1 run allowed. An excellent day by Hudson. And it'll be just 1 earned run for him unless the runner on first, Brady McGuire, can come around to score in this inning. And Brady Toney, his 2nd consecutive relief appearance after making a start in Newark. He struggled in his start, so hoping to redeem himself here after a couple of outings that were not quite up to his liking. Brady Toney was considered for the start today, but Hudson Boring ending up the starting pitcher for the Americans with Toney set as the first reliever. Jake Rocher and Carmen Panaro, potential relievers that will follow up Brady Toney in the game. But ideally, the Americans looking to save at least one of them, if not both, for the doubleheader tomorrow against Elmira. Hoping the Boring Toney combo can work today against the Skunks. But the tying run is on first base in the form of Brady McGuire. Marshall up next, and he will line it into center field. And McGuire was already going to get to third on the base hit. That drops in center field. It's runners on the corners with 1 down. Brady Toney giving up an early knock. Graham Moore just not going to get there in time on the 1-hop single. Next up is Dom Costello, the extra hitter, 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Toney looking to retire him for the 2nd time today with runners on the corners. It's McGuire on third. Boring responsible for him. Marshall was led on by Toney, but it's strike 1 to Dom Costello. Marshall represents the go-ahead run. McGuire represents the tying run for the Skunks. The 0-1 pitch. Another swing and miss. Brady Toney finding his groove right here and looking to strike out Costello, potentially in 3 pitches. Could be a bit ambitious, but Tony does have 2 strikes on this count, so in good position thus far. The 0-2 pitch right here is going to be fouled off and caught by a fan who is wearing a Sal Magley jersey. And while this stadium is named after the famous Sal Magley, not every day you see a Sal Magley jersey. It's a Giants jersey of his. Magley played for the Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers, and it's a swing and miss for strike 3 by Dom Costello for out number 2. So that's the first strikeout of the day by Brady Toney, his 9th of the year, and Costello striking out for the 2nd time. Eric Weeks up next. He's 1 for 2. Another one of those strikeouts at the mercy of Hudson Boring. We'll see if Tony can double that total for Weeks' day here. First pitch will be a bit of a check swing, but Brady Marshall going to take off for second without the Americans even attempting to pick him off. Ended up being able to jog there. Runners on second and third, so both are in scoring position for the Skunks. 2 down with a ball on the count. It's an outside ball 2 from Tony. Tough situation for Tony to be in. Only responsible for Marshall on second, but nonetheless do not want to give up these runs. The 2-0 pitch. And a bit of a motion towards a swing there, but it'll drop in the dirt. The 3rd consecutive ball thrown by Tony. Just struck out Dom Costello in 4 pitches. But now, looking to refine that control of the zone with the 3-0 count. Here's the pitch to Weeks. It'll drop low to load the bases. Not the end of the world, but now nowhere to put Aiden Nolasco. It's an interesting decision to get the force plays available for Aiden Nolasco, a guy who's 0 for 2 on the day. On the entire season, Aiden Nolasco has recorded just a single hit in 15 at-bats. This will be his 16th. Gets in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. And Brady Toney going to be much less afraid to attack against Nolasco. Tony with a count in his favor. Sets for the 0-1. And now delivers. It'll drop low on the breaking ball to even up the count. Dalton Harper also having to move over a bit. That was the low inside corner for Boring, or rather Tony. Brady Toney with the count even. Will throw strike 2 on the low outside corner, opposite corner of that ball, working for the strike. Brady Toney looking to end it right here against Nolasco. All 3 runners have a lead. It's McGuire on third, Marshall on second, and Weeks on first, and that'll be just fair and safe at home to tie the game is Brady McGuire. Aiden Nolasco, a weird play right there. The Tarp Skunks tie it up at 2. We'll wait for the official call on the play. It'll be ruled as a strikeout swinging, but then a reach on the fielder's choice. So that will be Tony's 2nd strikeout, but not out number 3. That'll be a ground ball to Huang at second, the throw to first in time, and out number 3 comes right there on Matthew Dumas. Tie game, though. It's 2-2. That pitch briefly getting away from Dalton Harper, and it costs the Americans. We'll be right back with the bottom of the inning.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back in action for the bottom of the sixth, and fans, an Americans game is a great way to entertain a group for the evening. The Americans are able to offer fundraisers tailored to your group needs, nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and more. For all group information, please visit the team website, www.niagarafallsamericans.com. The game now tied at 2 after Aiden Nolasco reaching on the fielder's choice despite the strikeout. That'll knock in run number 2. And Chris Gazaldo going to kick things off in this inning. He'll be followed up by Grant Moore, as well as Evan Core fouls it off on the pop-up for strike 1. Little preview of Evan Core's walk-up song here at the barbershop. And the 0-1 pitch from Thomas is going to be upstairs and outside to make it 1-1 on the batter, Gazaldo. Gazaldo's 1 for 1 with a single. Fouls off another one on the line drive. It's 1-2. Chris Gazaldo's mom showing some love on the Americans' Instagram today. The 1-2 pitch is going to be a fly ball into right field. Weeks backing up. He will make the grab for out number 1. Graham Moore up next with the bases empty. He's 0 for 1, strikeout and a walk on the day. Looking to make contact in fair territory for the first time today with the bases empty. And small sample size, but so far today has gotten on base only when the bases are empty. Shows bunt, and he's going to try and beat this out. And he will slide in, but it goes foul. Strike 1 on Moore. That bunt going to dribble foul. He would have been safe. The successful slide, but the unsuccessful bunt. Grant Moore will retake his bat from the home plate umpire. Daniel Thomas now with the count in his favor at 0-1. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a high chopper. Going to drop in front of Marshall at short. Moore looking to beat this one out, and he will. And that bunt going foul not going to matter. Grant Moore using his legs to get his first hit of the day. To be expected out of a guy like Graham Moore. And now he will look to steal for the 24th time this season. That would tie the number of steals he had back at Mount Vernon Nazarene. Picked up his steal numbers in the second half of his season. He has carried that momentum into the American season as well. He takes off on the first pitch to Core. He is going to slide in safely, and the throw gets away. Grant Moore going to hold up at second as the center fielder Duma's going to get there and cut off any more potential damage. But Grant Moore with stolen base number 24. He has officially tied his college stolen base total last season in less than half of the American season. He's on pace to hit 50 steals this season. It's upstairs for ball 2 on core from Daniel Thomas. Grant Moore now in scoring position, representing the go-ahead run for the Americans. Grant Moore has been quite the phenomenon for Niagara Falls this season. And that'll be fouled off for the first strike on the count to Core. Evan Core today is 0 for 2. Looking to expand his 14-game on-base streak. Grant Moore's now at 19 games. And he has officially recorded a hit every game he's had Chipotle pregame. That's another high chopper, and the out at first base for out number 2. But Grant Moore will head to third. Evan Core, for the second time today, successfully advancing Grant Moore a base on a ground out. Gavin Boyle with another opportunity to drive Grant Moore in. Tarp Skunks out hitting the Americans still 7-6. No errors for either side. That's going to be a high chopper. A lot of those this inning. Nolasco picks it up. He sends it to first in time for out number 3. And Grant Moore was looking to score, but cannot come around before out number 3 comes. We'll send it to the 7th inning after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Top of the 7th inning here from the barbershop. It's all tied at 2. The 7th inning sponsored by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. And in this 7th inning, the Americans looking to prevent Jamestown from adding more runs. Brady Toney in for his 2nd inning of work. Came in relief of Boring to record the final 2 outs of the 6th inning. Nolan Smith will kick things off for the Tarp Skunks. He's the true leadoff man in this order. He'll be followed up by Jacob Haynes and Justin Bremner. Nolan Smith, 0 for 1 with a pair of walks today. And the pitch from Toney will be lined into center field. Grant Moore backing up. That's going deep, but Moore going to jump up to make the grab for out number 1. Nolan Smith sending it almost to the warning track there. Hard hit ball, but Grant Moore says no. Jacob Haynes up next. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. 1 swinging, 1 looking. Jacob Haynes did have a pair of hits yesterday against the Americans and also had a grand slam here at the Sow his last time here. I'll go upstairs for ball 1 on Haynes. Jacob came into this game leading the lineup in OPS. That'll be inside as Haynes has to dodge ball 2. Pitch from Tony is low in the dirt. 3 consecutive balls from Brady Tony. See if he can recover here. Usually hasn't come till the next at bat if he has high ball counts early. The 3-0 will go inside and walk Jacob Haynes. He's on for the first time today as Justin Bremner steps in. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Coming up for the 4th time. Americans only on the 3rd time through their order. So the Tarp Skunks have sent more batters up by a significant amount despite the tie game. They've left a lot of runners on base today. 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And that'll be into the outfield on the ground ball for the base hit. Bremner, his first hit of this home and home on the single, advances Haynes to second. 8th hit of the day for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Nathan Borchert up next, the DH. And Borchert is 2 for 3. Hits on his first 2 at-bats of the day. Will likely get his batting average back up above 300. He was sitting right at 299 headed into the game. And that'll find the outside corner for strike 1 on Borchert. 1 down after Nolan Smith was retired. And 2 ducks on the pond for Borchert, the cleanup man. Tony checking on Haynes, now delivering. That's even further outside. And it's 1-1. Brady Tony spent his first year of school at Mount St. Mary's. Redshirted, he's now in the transfer portal. Looking to prove himself here for these Americans. It's 1s across the board. Tony way outside, but Harper with a nice stop to prevent the runners from going wild on ball 2. Dalton Harper has been great behind the dish today. 3rd consecutive day there. It's an upstairs ball 3. Harper trying to frame that, but the ump is not fooled. And it's Haynes on second, Bremner on first after the single. Brady Tony looking to get back in this count and avoid the walk. The pitch is outside. It loads the bases. Brady Tony has been having trouble since he entered the game. Has recorded a few outs, but in between, a lot of traffic. And now a meeting on the mound. The interim coach, Jacob Brunning, coming in to meet with Brady Tony. There's action in the Americans' bullpen. This will be it for Brady. It'll be a new pitcher for the Americans. Was expected to be Jake Rocher out of the pen next. We'll see if it is him. Rocher recently started, but returning to the pen today. Was potentially going to start tomorrow if he did not come out of the pen in this game. We'll get you confirmation on if this is indeed Rocher in just a moment. It is Jake Rocher. Leads the team among pitchers who have started a game in ERA at .93. 1-0 record, 10 strikeouts on the year. Jake Rocher has been solid out of the pen and even better as a starter. We'll see how he can do against the Skunks here. He provided 3 2/3 clean innings against Jamestown on the 10th on Kids Day over at Dietrich Park. But now, on his own turf, with one down and the bases juiced, gonna get out of the jam and keep things going. Brady Toney was a little banged up after his start in Newark. Hasn't really looked the same since then. An inning of work today, but a lot of base runners in between. All three of the runners on base right now, if they're able to score, those are charged to Brady Toney. So his ERA was already 8.31 and is in jeopardy of getting higher. Already will get higher as he gave up the run. Or rather, that was charged to Hudson Boring. But Brady Toney looking to avoid the hit to his ERA with Rocher now pitching. And it's a line drive into center field. Moore chasing it down. He'll make the grab for out number 2. And everyone is staying at their base. Jacob Haynes thought about tagging up, but he changes his mind. Bremner was going to follow in those footsteps, but the go-ahead run still on third base in the form of Haynes, as its bases loaded and 2 outs for Brady Marshall. Brady Marshall 1 for 3 with 2 down. Rocher delivers, and that'll get in there for strike 1 on the breaking ball. Some nice spin on that by Rocher. And an 0-1 count right here. He delivers outside and in the dirt to even things up. It's Haynes, the lead runner, on third. Bremner on second. Borchert on first. Brady Toney was pulled after letting all 3 runners on. The 1-1 pitch is going to get in there on the outside edge for strike 2. Rocher 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. Would be a Houdini moment for Rocher. The 1-2 pitch in just a moment. Rocher delivers. It's a high chopper. Gazaldo will pick it up at short, send it to first for out number 3. Tarp Skunks load the bases and strand them all. We'll send it to the bottom of the 7th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bottom of the 7th inning here from Sal Magley. It's tied at 2. High stakes here for the Americans, as they will have Ethan Madison due up to kick off this inning, followed by Graydon Miller and Dalton Harper. Well, the Tarp Skunks loading up the bases with Brady Toney in the game, but Jake Rocher comes in and gets the Americans out of the jam. Rocher has not given up a run to the Tarp Skunks all season long. This is his 2nd appearance against them. Yankee Doodle Dan leading a group of kids through the stands here. Most of them participated in the kids run. Ethan Madison up to bat for the 3rd time today. He's struck out his first 2 times up. Always good for a hit, but gonna see some strikeouts in between. That's the kind of hitter that he's been throughout the season. And that's going to be a high chopper foul down the third base line for strike one. Madison looking to extend on a 7-game hit streak. The 0-1 pitch from Thomas will go inside at the legs of Madison to even up the count at 1. Ethan Madison has seen time at catcher, first base, but has seen most of his time at designated hitter where he is today. 2-1 to Ethan from Daniel Thomas. Here's the pitch. A swing and miss by Madison. That'll even up the count. Ethan Madison looking to avoid his 3rd consecutive strikeout and 11th of the season. Also looking to expand on his 7-game hit streak, get it to 8. That's a number on the back of his jersey as well. So it'd be some good luck for him. That's a high chopper up the middle. It'll get through for the base hit. Ethan Madison, number 8, has an 8-game hit streak. Only hit number 7 for the Americans. Would have been great if it was their 8th hit too, but Madison gets it through to the outfield on the chopper to get on base for the first time today. Graydon Miller will follow him up. He's 2 for 2 with the RBI, his 13th of the season coming today. That'll be lined foul down the first base line, out of play for strike 1. Miller already came in batting .300, and as I mentioned, his hits have come in bunches this season. It's another multi-hit game for him, and another line drive into right field for his 3rd hit of the day. 1st and 2nd for Dalton Harper. The Americans threatening to retake the lead after they had it all the way back in the 1st inning. Tarp Skunks didn't tie this until the top of the 6th. Dalton Harper with 2 on and nobody out. Is 0 for 2 today. He'll look to add to the party right here with Madison and Miller on base. Madison with a big lead at 2nd, and it's an upstairs ball 1 to Harper. And now the Americans have 8 hits after the Miller single, his 3rd hit of the day. It's ball 2 inside to the batter Harper. So Madison and Miller, the 2 base runners, responsible for half of the Americans' hits today. Thomas checks back on Madison. Now the 2-0 pitch drops in the dirt. Thomas appears to be distracted by the base runners. So the opportunity for the Americans, now that they have some runners on base with Thomas pitching, to get a rally going in this bottom of the 7th inning. It's an outside ball 4. The bases are now juiced for the Americans. And Nick Pass coming up, looking to knock in some runs. We'll remind you as Pass steps in that the Americans would love to partner with your business. And the Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at www.niagarafallsamericans.com to get involved. Go Americans! There's a meeting on the mound. Frank Jagoda coming in to speak with the pitcher Daniel Thomas. His day may be done. There's some action in the Tarp Skunks bullpen. It's a tough situation right now for Thomas. The bases are loaded. And even if it is a new pitcher, Thomas responsible for all these base runners. So whatever runs come in will be on him. Daniel Thomas, for the time being, going to stay on the bump with the bases juiced and nobody out. Force play is available for him, so that could be the avenue here to force some soft contact for Nick Pass, but Nick is 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. So anytime he's made contact in fair territory, he's had a hit. It's an inside ball 1. Past strikeout came looking. And he has the count in his favor early here with Thomas still pitching. The 1-0 pitch will drop in the dirt. There's nowhere to put Nick Past. If Past is walked, a run going to come in. The Americans going to take the lead. Ethan Madison representing the go-ahead run. He's now at third base. Miller at second after the single. Harper at first after walking. 2-0 pitch. Will get in there on the outside edge for strike 1 from Thomas. Nick Past looking to avoid his second strikeout of the day, but still has the count in his favor. All 3 runners have a lead. The 2-1 pitch is fouled off. Count now even. Nick Past had the early 2-0 count, but Daniel Thomas battling back in this at-bat. Trying to keep eagle eyes on the batter. These base runners unlikely to steal with Madison on third. The 2-2 pitch is going to be lined right to the shortstop for out number 1, and the double play will retire Ethan Madison. Marshall to McGuire, Brady to Brady, double play for the Skunks. And runners still on first and second, as it is going to be a pinch hitter for the Americans. Derek Jesmondi coming in to pinch hit. So the Americans, not often they use a pinch hitter, but interim manager Jacob Brunning trying it out. Jesmondi into the game with runners on first and second. It'll get in there on the outside edge for strike 1. And I think this is an interesting decision for a pitcher that's starting to lose control of the strike zone in Daniel Thomas. Derek Jesmondi is very patient, known for taking walks, and provides the opposite-handed matchup with Thomas. But right now, Thomas refining his command, throws a strike on the low outside corner to put Jesmondi down 0-2. 1 strike away from ending things right here. Huang's day will be done after the 0-2 start. Or 0 for 2, rather. The high chopper to second base. It'll be Nolasco to Smith for out number 3. So the pinch hitter not going to amount to anything here. Americans had the bases loaded, but unable to come away with a run. It's still tied, headed into the 8th inning. The story today for both sides has been runners left on base. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Top of the 8th inning here from Sal Magley. Alan Ramos going to come in for Ian Huang at second base. He's seen time at third, time at short. This will be his debut at second. See how that goes for him. I mean, natural middle infielder. Should do all right over there. The 8th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Had the chance to go a couple of times. Been a great experience. Dom Costello will kick things off for the Tarp Skunks in this inning. A look around the PGCBL. The Doubledays leading the Red Wings 7-5 in the 7th inning. Ironbacks have come back. They lead the Pilots 8-5 in the top of the 7th. And the Muck Dogs up 7-1 over the Pios in the top of the 6th. So this is still the fastest game in the West Division right now. And Rocher going to throw ball 1 in the dirt to Dom Costello. Jake Rocher came in for Tony in the 7th and now is going to hit Costello on the foot. So puts a runner on early here. After 2/3 of an inning clean in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be a pinch runner for Costello. Nico Frizzell coming in to pinch run. Frizzell, if he gets up to bat, a 111 hitter. But definitely good for some speed on the base paths. I would imagine the Tarp Skunks going to use a pinch hitter in place of Frizzell if it gets to that point. But it is the top of the 8th inning, and Tarp Skunks would have to come all the way back around to get Frizzell into that position in the first place. But Rocher pitching on the outside edge of the zone, strike 1 to Eric Weeks. Weeks today is 1 for 2. The 0-1 pitch will go outside as Frizzell takes off and steals second. It's 1-1. Now a runner on second base. That's why you bring in the pinch runner right there. Dom Costello, not really a speedy player. Nico Frizzell, quite the contrast. Rocher gonna force the foul tip for strike 2. Weeks, product of Canisius, here alongside Justin Bremner. Hasn't had quite the success Bremner's had, but still a solid contributor for these Skunks. Looking for his second hit of the day. He takes ball 2. Weeks has also walked today, so he's reached base 2 out of 3 times up so far. Has a runner in scoring position. Nico Frizzell representing the go-ahead run, and he has some speed on him to potentially score. Rocher gets Weeks to swing and miss. It'll be the first strikeout of Rocher's day. That's quite the start to his day. Or at least his inning. 3 batters retired out of 4 batters faced for Jake Rocher. Aiden Nolasco will be up next. Nolasco is 0 for 3 today. One of just 2 Tarp Skunks, or rather 3 Tarp Skunks, who have failed to reach base after starting the game. 1 strike on the count. And that'll be outside to put 1s across the board on Nolasco. Aiden Nolasco only has 1 hit all season. And fouled off. And my apologies, Nolasco did reach, but it was on a fielder's choice. That's fouled off for strike 2. Rocher with the 1-2 count delivers. And that is in there for strike 3. his second consecutive strikeout. Jake Rocher is heating up on the hill. Matthew Dumas will round things out for this Tarp Skunks order. This is the fourth time through for them in this 8th inning. Tarp Skunks are now 6 of 23 on the day with runners on, and Rocher is going to hit Matthew Dumas. It gets away from Harper, so taking third is Nico Frizzell. He's going to be sent back. Not allowed to take that base. Nolan Smith up next with 2 down and 2 ducks on the pond. Tied at 2 as well. So 2 the magic number here. It's a foul ball down the first base line for Nolan Smith. Has yet to record a hit in this game, but has reached base twice on a pair of base on balls. Rocher checks back on second. Now delivers. The breaking ball ends up inside to put ones on the count. Frizzell has a big lead at second. And now behind him at first is Dumas. The ground ball picked up by Kiefer, sent across the field. It's his first ground out of the game to end the top of the 8th. We'll send it to the bottom of the inning. Connor Kiefer looking good in his debut at third. We'll be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Back for the bottom of the 8th. Connor Kiefer going to lead things off for the Americans here. It'll be followed up by Chris Gazaldo and Grant Moore. That Tarp Skunks inning ending with Nolan Smith, so Jacob Haynes will kick things off for them in the 9th. It's a high ball 1. On Kiefer from the still pitching Daniel Thomas. And that'll be popped up in foul territory. Chasing it down is Nolan Smith. He will slide and make the grab. Connor Kiefer, sometimes prone to those pop-ups. Pops out right there.
Number 42, the shortstop,
Chris Gazaldo will bat next. Going to be the first base runner of the inning in this tie game. Gazaldo has already had a hit today. Gazaldo sitting at 1 for 2. The first pitch will go inside, finds the zone for strike 1. Wow, that was the second pitch. It's ones across the board. And that is going to be a liner right to second base. Nolasco to Smith for out number 2. ends up hopping after the line drive, and Grant Moore is the final batter due up in this 8th inning. The final hope to avoid the 1-2-3 here, but it's going to be a meeting on the mound first. This is the second mound visit from Frank Jagoda, so that'll be it for Daniel Thomas. New pitcher for the Skunks to face Grant Moore. It's going to be a lefty. Force the lefty on lefty matchup. And the new pitcher for the Skunks is the lefty Will Taylor. 1-0 with a 7.71 ERA and 6 strikeouts. Last pitched against the Elmira Pioneers on Sunday, went 1 2/3 in that game. Tarp Skunks have seen a lot of Can USA on their schedule. Majority of their games have been against the Americans, Muck Dogs, and the Pioneers in this first month of action. Tarp Skunks, Pioneers, and Muck Dogs, all with the earliest starts to their seasons here in the West Division. Playing a miniature round robin over their first 2 games apiece. Hunter, or rather Will Taylor, warming up with Jacob Haynes, getting ready to face the great Grant Moore. Moore 1 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Reached on an infield single for his sole hit of the day. And hoping to get a new hit streak together. Still has an on-base streak of 19 games, but has recorded a hit in 18 of those 19. All fueled in part by his favorite pregame meal, Chipotle burritos. So Grant Moore will face the new pitcher. It's the lefty Taylor. Be a nice time to still have Ian Huang in the game, the switch hitter, but Grant Moore in this left-on-left matchup. Looking to give the Americans a chance at this lead. It's a liner into left center field for the base hit. Moore with his second hit of the day. And Evan Core will follow him up. Evan Core in a familiar spot. He's batted second right behind Moore for most of the season, and Moore is on first with obviously the chance to take some bases. Swing and a miss for strike 1, though. Evan Core has advanced Grant Moore a base on a ground out 2 times today, but can't afford a ground out here with 2 down. Moore has a lead from first, looking to steal second. And that'll get away from the catcher Haynes. It's a wild pitch. Grant Moore taking second base. Thought about third, but he'll stay at second for now. Grant Moore, with the count even, is in scoring position, representing the go-ahead run for the Americans. Evan Core looking to knock him in. He's already come around to score once. It was on a Gavin Boyle hit. The RBI double by Boyle coming in the very first inning. The Americans have not scored since the bottom of the first when they put up 2 runs. They're known for those early game runs, but looking to add to it now. And a slight foul tip by Core. It's 1-2. Evan Core, a very strong start to the season, has fizzled out a little bit, but he's still managed to hold on to his 14-game on-base streak. It's in jeopardy right here. Has to get on with 2 down to keep this inning alive and give the Americans a chance. And there's a ground ball right to Nolan Smith that'll be out number 3. Evan Core's ground out, going to do nothing for Grant Moore right there. And the Americans still tied at 2 as we head to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the 9th inning, and who else but Carmen Panaro to try and close out this game. The score is tied this time around, so Americans will have to put up some runs in the bottom of the 9th to get them the win as opposed to the save. But Panaro coming in a close game for the 2nd consecutive night. Panaro has not given up a run all season as a pitcher. Has had 2 saves. This 9th inning is brought to you here on the Americans Baseball Network by Casella, by Celino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages, provider of all alcoholic beverages here at the barbershop. Come on down to Deb's Beer Garden at any home game to get those. Americans will be back at home for the Twin Bill tomorrow. They take on the Pioneers starting at 2 p.m. Panaro, the first pitch, will be swung on and missed by Jacob Haynes. Haynes has already struck out twice today, once swinging, once looking. Looking to avoid his 3rd strikeout, but Panaro with some great swing and miss stuff. That one, though, will go outside to even up the count. Panaro has faced some traffic most times he's pitched, but still gotten the Americans out of jams. It's 2-1 as that briefly gets away from Harper with the bases empty. So Panaro, a very clutch pitcher, and that's a high chopper picked up by Gazaldo at short. The throw to first will be there for out number 1. Carmen Panaro, 1 batter faced and 1 batter down. Justin Bremner will follow up Haynes. Nathan Borchert will be the final hitter due up in this inning. He will be on deck here. Justin Bremner, 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. Bremner, who his first hit of the entire home and home today, has tended to struggle against the Americans, but right now it's a fly ball into right field. Core coming in, but it's going to drop just fair. Bremner going to stop at first base. He's got his 2nd knock of the day against these Americans. So now Bremner starting to figure them out. It's the 9th hit for Jamestown. 1 on, 1 out, with Panaro still pitching. Nathan Borchert up next, product of King University, is 2 for 3 with a walk. He's got Bremner on first after that single that drops just to the fair side of the first base line. It'll be ball 1 from Panaro, outside and upstairs. Nathan Borchert. Looking to get on for the 4th time today. That'll get in there to make it 1s across the board on Nathan Borchert. Double play potential here with the runner on first. But it'll be a swing and miss instead. Strike 2. Panaro forcing another swing and miss. Looking to strike out his first batter of tonight's game. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. There it is. The first strikeout of the night by Carmen Panaro. Sends Borchert packing, and Brady McGuire, tough customer, will be up next. McGuire 2 for 4 tonight. An RBI as well. Carmen Panaro has hit and pitched for this Americans team, forcing another swing and miss right there. McGuire chasing that outside pitch for strike one. Carmen has totaled 6 strikeouts on the year now. And that'll be a fly ball into right center field. Rather, Evan Core going to make the grab for out number 3. We'll send it to the bottom of the 9th as the Americans look for their first walk-off win of the season. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Welcome back for the bottom of the 9th inning. And we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's game, but remind everyone that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together, whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization. The Americans are also able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. And the Americans will be back here tomorrow for a doubleheader against the Pioneers. First pitches at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. respectively. Gavin Boyle stepping in to lead off this bottom of the 9th. The Americans looking to walk off the game, knotted up at 2. It would be their first walk-off of the season. The Americans have done a lot of great things, but a walk-off win is something they're still looking for. Gavin Boyle hit 4 home runs last year. Could he homer right here to walk it off? The first pitch will go outside for ball 1. Boyle has had some strikeout problems as well, so not necessarily the time to swing for the fences, but if he sees a pitch he likes, could be a great opportunity. There's a big cut, but a swing and miss as it drops low. Boyle chasing on strike 1. I don't mind that swing right there. Just don't have a strike on the count yet. Take a chance, see what happens, but now got to show some patience with the 1-1 count. It's fouled off for strike 2. Makes some contact right there. Boyle, in his first at bat of the game, had an RBI double. Looking to add to that. His 3rd double of the season. The 1-2 pitch will be low and away. Count is now even. Still the lefty Taylor for the Tarp Skunks to face the lefty Boyle. The 2-2 pitch is going to be fouled off as Boyle extends the at-bat. Gavin Boyle with the 2-strike count. Looking for contact here, or at least ball 3. Pitch from Taylor is way outside, not one Boyle wanted a swing on. Now the full count. Gavin Boyle showing some good patience. And now the stakes are high. Tie game, full count, payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Gavin Boyle striking out for the 11th time this season. The Americans have not scored since the first inning. They're going to need to. They want to keep their win streak and keep the frappe streak here for the fans at home. Ethan Madison up next, and it's one down. Madison takes the ball low. Ethan, another American with some home run power, homered in Jamestown, but has struck out twice tonight, so showing some more patience here. Swing and miss right there to make it ones across the board. Again, I don't mind a swing with no strikes, but now you got to be more careful. Madison looking for his second hit of the day. And a big cut and miss there. 2 consecutive swings and misses for Madison. Now no wiggle room for Ethan with Graydon Miller on deck. The Americans looking to end it right here in the 9th. It'll drop in the dirt to make it 2s on the count to Madison. Hit the umpire. Frank Jagoda coming to check on him, as well as the Americans trainer, Krista. Looks to be in pain. It hit him on the leg. We hope he's all right. Infield umpire would likely have to take over here if the home plate umpire is unable to continue. Jacob Haynes also in the conversation now, the catcher for Jamestown. And the home plate umpire will be all right. He puts his helmet back on, as well as his mask. Two and two to Ethan Madison. Madison looking to avoid his 3rd strikeout of the day. Had a hit the only time he didn't strike out. That's a pretty average Ethan Madison stat line. But the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3 by Ethan. It's 2 down for the Americans on consecutive strikeouts. Graydon Miller on the day is 3 for 3. Looking to make it 4 for 4 and extend this inning for the Americans. That's going to be a line drive into right field, and it'll drop for the base hit and more. Miller headed towards second. It's going to be close. He slides in, and he is out. Graydon Miller tagged out, and this inning is over. We're headed to extras. A risky decision will not pay off. The single, but the tag out at second. The Americans have their 9th hit, but their 3rd out as well, and Miller is still down on the ground. We hope he's all right. He'll get up. Just frustrated about that one. We'll send it to the 10th. Extra innings for the first time in an Americans game. We'll be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Back for extra innings here on the Americans Baseball Network. And extra innings are brought to you by Sammy's Pizza. Sammy's the official pizza provider of the Americans. If you're here at the game, still some time to get some slices before the game ends. Sammy's right down the street as well, so fans can enjoy post-game Sammy's Pizza if they head right down the street when this game is over. And in this 10th inning, it'll be a new pitcher for the Americans, Austin Barton, coming in. Had a nice outing last time he came in against the Ironbacks, 2 1/3 innings, but on the year, a 14.09 ERA, 7 strikeouts, and an 0-1 record. The Tarp Skunks in this inning are already in their 5th time through the order. Brady Marshall going to lead things off. Will be followed up by Nico Frizzell and Eric Weeks. Barton meeting with his third baseman Connor Kiefer. And here's Brady Marshall. And the extra innings rules, similar to Major League Baseball, but a little bit different. Ghost runner will be on second for both teams. However, if this game is still tied after inning number 10, it will end as a tie. It happened for the Pilots in Double Days. Could be the second tie of the West Division season right here, but it's the outside edge of the zone for strike one on Brady Marshall. Brady McGuire, the ghost runner. So Brady looking to drive in a fellow Brady. And Barton trying to paint these corners for strikes, but that's a line drive foul, and that'll get him strike 2 anyways. McGuire has yet to try for third, but certainly has some speed on him. 24 steals on 29 attempts at Seton Hill. A perfect candidate for an extra innings ghost runner. It's outside for ball one, the first ball on the count in this at bat for Brady Marshall. Marshall on the day is 1 for 4. Looking for his second knock of the day here, but Barton has the count in his favor. McGuire taunting him. The 1-2 pitch sent foul. The 1-2 count. Brady Marshall looking to make some contact here. But right now it's an outside ball 2. Harper with the stop, so McGuire will hang on at second base. Count is now at 2-2. Austin Barton had an early 2-strike count here. Now throws one upstairs near the helmet of the batter Marshall. Count is full. Barton looking for the strikeout on this full count with nobody out. McGuire, the ghost runner, on second. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a line drive into right field. Evan Core coming in to make the grab. Tagging up for third is Brady McGuire. It's going to be close, but the throw gets away from Connor Kiefer. And headed home is Brady McGuire. He will score. The Tarp Skunks lead 3-2. It's an error for the Americans. The error on that play will score Brady McGuire. It's an error on Connor Kiefer, the third baseman. It's his first time playing third, to cut him some slack. But one down and nobody on. Tarp Skunks now have a 3-2 lead. Nico Frizzell batting next. He swings and misses for strike one. And now, even if the Americans score a third run, this could still end in a tie. They need 2 runs to walk this off. One's across the board, now a low ball 2. Austin Barton got his first out, but some errors leading the run to score, and there's a ground ball to Connor Kiefer. He sends it to first in time for out number 2. Kiefer quickly redeeming himself after the error, but not mattering too much here. The Tarp Skunks have the lead. And stepping in for the Skunks is Eric Weeks, product of Canisius, with 2 down and nobody on. Also the 1-run lead after McGuire came in to score. Barton, first pitch will be fouled off for strike 1. Right behind the plate to the right side. Eric Weeks on the day is 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. And it's a swing and miss for strike 2. And now Graydon Miller, who tried to take second base on the double, will be the ghost runner for the Americans in the bottom of the 10th. We'll need to make smart base running decisions here, and that's a pop-up foul. Austin Barton 1 strike away from ending this top of the 10th and handing it over to the Americans with a chance to win. It's a low ball 1, and the Americans have had plenty of traffic on the base path, so with a runner on second to start, should be an advantage for them to score some runs. That's a high chopper. Picked up by Gazaldo. The throw the first is in time for out number 3. The Americans with the chance for the walk-off again, but now the Tarp Skunks lead by 1, so higher stakes here in the bottom of the 10th. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
that's better.
Bottom of the 10th inning here from the Sal. Tommy Mathay, it appears, will pinch run for Graydon Miller. And for the Tarp Skunks, it is still the southpaw Will Taylor pitching in this bottom of the 10th. And it will indeed be Tommy Mathay on second base, the ghost runner for these Americans. Dalton Harper will lead things off in this 10th inning. And expected to be followed up by Nick Pass, barring any pinch hitters. Alan Ramos in the hole.
Number 18, the catcher, Dalton Harper.
And at this point, a home run would end this game. Dalton Harper came pretty close at George Taylor Field with a double all the way to the wall. Also had some home runs back at SUNY Niagara. Has yet to have one for the Americans, though, in 2 seasons. First pitch will be in there for strike 1 on the outside edge. Dalton Harper. A big moment for these Americans. If they don't score in this inning, they will lose this game. Check swing, and they say he did not go. Mathay still at second. 1's on the count to Harper. Harper has yet to record a hit today, but has gotten on with a walk. Handful of doubles on the season. Double would be big here to at least tie the game. That's a ball that bounces in the dirt off of Jacob Haynes. Mathay holding up on second. Dalton Harper with the count now in his favor. Bell, or rather Taylor, checks back on second. Now delivers. It's upstairs. A walk here would put 2 runners on for Nick Past. Dalton Harper looking for his second walk of the day. And now a meeting on the mound between Taylor and Jacob Haynes. The Americans up to 10 hits on the day. Harper looking to either walk or get number 11. Taylor still in this game after the brief meeting with his catcher. 3-1 pitch is going to be lined foul to fill things up. Dalton Harper making for a tough at bat here. Can he knock in the runner on second, Tommy Mathey, or at least get on for himself? Taylor checks back on Mathey, now delivers the payoff pitch is outside. It's ball 4. Runners on first and second for the Americans. And Nick Past is set to bat next. We'll see if he's pinch hit for here or if he stays in. Jacob Brunning gonna put his faith in Nick Past. And it's going to be a meeting on the mound. Likely a new pitcher for the Tarp Skunks. The day is done for Will Taylor. We'll get you word on who's coming out of the pen for Jamestown in just a moment. It will be a right-handed pitcher. And that right-handed pitcher is Eddie Delansky. Delansky, a two-way player for the Tarp Skunks. Last pitched on June 12th against the Pilots. Has primarily served as a catcher and extra hitter, but has made appearances on the mound as well. Not his first time facing these Americans either. Has runners on first and second with Nick Past due up to bat. Frank Jagoda being very smart, trying to create right on right and left on left matchups throughout this game. And now warming up with Jacob Haynes is Eddie Delansky. Delansky is a fun dynamic because he's shared time with Haynes at catcher, but can also pitch himself. One of the most valuable ways to be a two-way player, to pitch and catch for your team. Not too bad a bat either. Batting .250 with a .768 OPS. His pitching numbers: a .727 ERA, 1-0 record, and 9 strikeouts on the year, in a total of 8 2/3 innings pitched and 4 appearances. Nick Past coming in with 2 ducks on the pond. Past already has 1 hit today, looking for his second in a critical moment with nobody out. Harper walking to lead off the inning. Mathey was already there, the ghost runner. Pinch running for Graydon Miller. And a bunt shown by Nick Past. The throw to first will advance both runners. Harper is on second and Mathey is on third. A successful sacrifice bunt, but 1 down for the Americans. Alan Ramos up next. Came in as a defensive sub at second base. The 200 hitter with a 555 OPS. And they're going to walk Alan Ramos to load up these bases, put force plays on the bases for the pitcher, Eddie Delansky. Connor Kiefer is up next with the bases juiced. Looking to keep the fact that he has recorded a hit every time he's started. The only time he didn't get a hit was when he pinch hit. And that'll be another pop-up behind the plate. It's going to drop out of reach of Jacob Haynes. So Kiefer catching a break right there. It's strike one on him, though. Kiefer prone to those pop-ups, but solid hitter as well. Came into the game batting .313. Eddie Delansky. A big moment for him. Just walked Alan Ramos with Harper and Mathey on second and third respectively. Mathey, the lead runner, trying to come home and tie this game back up. Harper representing the go-ahead. That'll be in there on the outside edge for strike two. Connor Kiefer. No more wiggle room right here. Chris Gazaldo on deck. Kiefer looking to take some pressure off him and keep it at one down. Or at least score a run, but he swings and misses. Down goes Connor Kiefer. He will finish this game without a hit.
Now batting for the Americans, number 42, the shortstop, Chris Gazaldo.
Chris Gazaldo up next. The shortstop, 1 for 3. Connor Kiefer. His debut at third base with some mixed results. But at the plate, not his finest of nights. Strike one for Chris Gazaldo with now 2 down. Gazaldo has the bases juiced. This is the game right here. 0-1 pitch from Delansky is lined into right field, but foul. A little earlier on the contact there, like it would have ended the game. The winning run is in scoring position in the form of Dalton Harper. Chris Gazaldo still looking for his first extra base hit of the season. Was close on a controversial error call, what could have been a double yesterday. But Gazaldo, a great contact hitter. A single would do the job right here to keep the inning going and score some runs. That's going to be a chopper, and it'll be sent to first base. This game is over. The Americans fall short 3-2. That will be the ball game. In extra innings, the Americans falling their first time in extras. But they will be back looking for redemption tomorrow. They split this home and home with the Tarp Skunks, now 3-3 on the season series. But doubleheader tomorrow as the Pioneers come to town. The first pitch will be at 2 o'clock. Second game expected to start around 4. It'll be 7-inning games. But for now, we thank you all for tuning in to the broadcast. Americans falling just short here, 3-2. Unable to add any more runs after scoring 2 in the first inning. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.